Okay, so this is the second part. I just finished going through the 4 small subdecks that are included, that are bounded by Evolving Wilds. There's a red-black selection. There's a blue-red selection. There's a white-blue selection, and then there's a red-white selection. So right now, what I'm going to do next is take my time and go through these other 2 packs of cards. Again, in these particular videos, I've decided to take my time because I'm hoping that 1 or 2 new players watch this video. I don't get a lot of views because I don't, it's just a channel that I have for my own fun. I'm not sponsored by McDonald's or anything. So let's crack that open. This is the first deck builder toolkit that I opened that has rares, and that's because M15, which I think absolutely rocks as a core set, has a bunch of rares that were put separate from the booster packs, which is really a new thing for Wizards. Okay, I think we can do that. All right, so let's start cracking. There's a lot of cards in these toolkits. I really am a huge fan of them as a product. All right, so on the left, Aegis Angel is a 6/5/5 flyer, and you can give indestructible to another target permanent when you come in. The Djinn, which is an old card, it's a 6/5/6 flyer, very nice. Again, a rare. Nightmare, which of course you're going to want to play all black, all swamps. If you build a Nightmare deck, you're going to want to have every single card be a swamp. You don't even want a special land that becomes a creature, anything like that. You want all swamps in this deck if you want to play with that card. Shivan Dragon, of course, again, another classic card. This is the classic dragon. I think it goes all the way back to the very first set, limited edition alpha. I'm not sure, but I think it does. Again, big flyer, 6/5/5. It's a rare. Terra Stumper. So again, it looks like they're giving you rares in each one of the 5 colors, so you can build a deck around them. Okay, that's very nice. Each one would be a bomb. Then continuing on the left, you've got your uncommons. Sarah Angel going all the way back to limited edition alpha. Of course, Flying and Vigilance for a 5/4/4 body. That's really good. It's got a little dot in there. Banishing Light, a great card because you can exile for as long as nobody's killed Banishing Light, something that your opponent has played. Another Exiler, Last Breath. That's awesome. Exilers work really well. A buffer here, so your creatures get +2/+1 until end of turn. Okay. Then Loyal Pegasus, a low flyer, so a 1-drop flyer, very useful. Destroy target attacking or blocking creature, Divine Verdict, a classic reprint. See 2 of them. An enchantment, which really gives your creature basically what I call a fat butt. It's +0/+2. Then something that drops tokens. You probably want to use it in white-black for a white-black tokens deck. Another Exiler, that's awesome. Exile target artifact or enchantment. It's better than Destroy, of course, because if you destroy, it lands in the graveyard. But if you exile, it's gone. It's what used to be in the old cards would call remove from the game. Okay, so here's your cat. So we're going through white right now, it looks like. A flyer. Then it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It gives it to another target creature. And actually, I've played this, and when it comes in, it actually becomes a 2/3/3 if there's nothing on the battlefield. A Great Denier, God's Willing, because it'll allow you to keep a creature from dying. That's very nice. Draw 3 cards. So now we're down to the white cards. So let's do a little count now that we've looked through these. So it began with an uncommon. and it gives you 3, 6, 9, 10, 13. So 2 uncommons and 12 commons. And if we count the creatures, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what you probably do is you take your white cards and say, hey, I got a little white blue selection out of this group. How about I look at my white cards in these groups and my blue cards, and I make a deck out of them. That's what I would do. Probably make a video of that just to show you if you're a new player. Okay, so Jace's Ingenuity and Into the Void. So returns target creatures to their owner's hands. You can use it on yourself if you have an enter the battlefield effect. So whenever such and such enter the battlefield, it's always something that took me a little while in Magic to get, that sometimes you think, oh, I'm going to return my opponent's creature to their hand. That's going to suck for them. But hey, if I have something that's already hit the battlefield, and it's something like when it hits the battlefield, you can draw a card. Well, you play this on yourself, and then you get another card. Even though it'll have summoning sickness, so you'll slow yourself down, but you can play it on yourself. So here goes a flyer, a blue flyer, low flyer. Omen Speaker is an awesome card. The fact that you can dig for 2, scry for 2, can be a great stabilizer, especially if you're playing a couple of colors and you're missing a land in the color that you need. This thing can save you. Again, another denier. We're just Voyage's End. Draw some cards. Draw more cards. Of course, a classic card. Takes your opponent's big creature that's about to attack you and give it a -6. So it'll really dampen the blow, if not take it out entirely. A counter spell, of course. It's a 3-drop because the classic counter spell is 2-drop. So they decide to slow things down. Something that allows you to drop tokens. Counter target non-creature spell, so instants, sorceries, enchantments, anything that's not a creature you can counter for 2. The Lynx, which I think is a really good limited card, I almost lost to it the other day. It'll tap a creature an opponent controls, and it won't untap during the next untap step. That's pretty good. Counter target creature or aura spell. A flash flyer, meaning you can drop it. Now when you normally drop your creatures, you can drop it during combat as an instant, and that can be a really great combat trick. I could always get better at that. Okay, so we've gone through the blue selection. Let me just do a little recount of the blue selection. Again, as you can see, I'm really taking my time with these cards. I think I opened a couple of toolkits last year, and I probably took like 5 minutes to go through the whole thing. So you got some card draw, denial, you got a flash flyer. In blue, you're not going to care counting creatures because you're not going to play that many. In blue, you really want to look at your counters and your denial. That's what blue is good at. So it's got some good card draw, good denial with nullify, good denial with a tapper. Again, another counter. Drop some tokens, counter, help, make sure that some big creature is not about to kill you. Draw some more cards, deny again, be able to smooth out your draws with Omen Speaker. I think this is a great card. So what I always say about the Deck Builder's Toolkit, it's not really pulling its punches, It's got some really great cards. You'd think that Wizards were giving me money for this video, but they're not. So I'm just telling you because I play Magic. Bio Blight is a great card. Awesome if your opponent's got like 3 of the same card, because then you can take them all out because they all have the same name. Saint You're a Vampire, a classic. Goes back who knows how far. A 5/4/4 flyer. And whenever a creature is dealt damage by Saint You're and it dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on the vampire. Read the Bones, a great way to smooth out your draws in black. A popular card in Black Devotion for the Theros block. A Convoke, you think it's 7, but if you've got 3 or 4 creatures that you want to tap on the battlefield, it actually costs you a lot less, and it deals 4 damage and you gain 4 life. That's not bad for a common. Your zombie, you're playing black, you're going to play a zombie. An instant that deals 2 damage and you gain 2 life would be great in a white-black deck. This one's got Intimidate, which means that it can only be blocked. It cannot be blocked except, so it can only be blocked by artifacts or creatures that are half black in them. Lifelink, Child of Night, a classic card that you'll find great use for all the time. Then a Destroy Creature card at 5, which is very heavy, but you're playing very casual if you're playing strictly out of the toolkit. Sign in Blood, which you can use on yourself if you really need those 2 cards and you're willing to spend the 2 life. And you got 2 of them. That's a classic. Mind Rot, another classic card, because the target player discards 2 cards for 3. An Enchanter, -1. You can return some creatures from your graveyard for 4. Okay, and now we're down to red. So let's recount. In the case of black, I think what I really want to see is how much target destruction it's got. So it's got 1 target destruction, an enchantment that effectively does that. Some discard, some card draw by paying life, another target creature destruction, some life link, Intimidate, some damage again, zombie, some damage, very heavy, but if you have creatures, and smooth your draws and you draw 2 cards. So that's a really nice black selection. So by now I've gone through the white, blue, and black selections. I'm going to wait for the next video to do the red, the green, and the artifacts. And I think there's yet another selection. Usually with the other pack that's got lands, there are other cards in it. Oh no, that's it. So you get a bunch of land. That's the beauty of the toolkit. So look at this, lots of land. You're going to be swimming in lands when you buy the toolkit. So that'll be for the next video.